Discounting of Calories in College Students by Kevin Erdner, Alexa Havlicek, Victoria Hutchinson, Molly Lamb, and Ashley Katz. The purpose of this study was to evaluate discounting of caloric health benefits amongst college-age students. The participants used for this experiment included 15 undergraduate students from various cities across the United States. Their ages ranged between 19 and 22 years old. 80% of the participants were female and 20% were male. Out of the 15 participants, 12 were Caucasian, 1 participant was Asian, 1 participant was African American, and 1 participant was biracial. Their heights ranged from 57.5 inches to 73 inches. 40% of the participants weighed between 125 and 155 pounds. 33% weighed between 156 and 185 pounds, and 25% weighed 185 pounds or more. 53.3% of the participants reported exercising 1 to 2 times a week. 26.7% reported exercising 3 to 4 times a week, and 20% reported exercising 5 to 7 times a week. The materials used for this study included a computer, Google Forms to create a discounting questionnaire, Prism GraphPad and Excel were used to tabulate and graph results, and the social media site Facebook Messenger was used to distribute the questionnaire to all participants. The discounting questionnaire created on Google Forms incorporated a temporal discounting survey, which was used to gather data from the participants. The first section included demographic queries for age, race, gender, and how often one exercised during a given week. The second section contained questions where the participant had to choose between 2 hypothetical situations within the context of a, quote, busy day. Each situation included the same exercise with smaller and larger amounts of calories burned in different delays of time. The amount of calories burned varied between questions. For the procedure, researchers distributed the questionnaire to participants using Facebook Messenger. Participants were given 2 days to submit the questionnaire back to the researchers. The questionnaire took approximately 5 minutes to complete. Results were presented and compared within the group and across demographic variables. Researchers calculated the subjective value scores for the Y values by averaging the number of participants that selected the larger reward at each indifference point and calculating the median from these scores. The X values included a delay at each indifference point. The hyperbolic function was used in this study to demonstrate the systematic discounting of participants when presented with specific delays. For the hyperbolic function, the subjective value or indifference point, V, is equal to the amount of delayed reward, A, or 700 calories in this study, divided by the estimated degree of discounting, or K, multiplied by time delay plus 1. The hyperboloid function proposed by Meyerson and Green was used as a more accurate assessment of systematic discounting within the group. This equation was the same as that found in the hyperbolic function, except that the denominator in the equation was raised to the value of S, where the S value represented the psychophysical and non-linear scaling between the amount of the reward and the time delay. The S value was calculated by subtracting the best fit S value from the standard error S value. Here is a graphical display of the median percentage of responses across all participants, in which larger later caloric gains were chosen across delays. 4 different mathematical models were fit to the data points. These models included the hyperbolic, linear regression, hyperboloid, and exponential decay functions, The R-squared coefficient was used to determine the relative fit of each model to the data points. The R-squared value for the hyperbolic function was 0.89, suggesting that this model explained the results with 89% accuracy. The K value for this model was 0.528, which indicated a moderate degree of discounting. This graph shows the area under the indifference curve across three demographic groups of participants. These groups included those who worked 1 to 2 times per week, 3 to 4 times per week, and 5 to 7 times per week. The total area under the curve for participants who reported working out approximately 1 to 2 times per week was 53.95. The total area under the curve for participants who reported working out approximately 3 to 4 times per week was 49.88. The total area under the curve for participants who reported working out approximately 5 or more times per week was 72.25. These calculations demonstrate that the group that reported working out less times per week discounted at an overall quicker rate than the groups that reported working out more times per week. This current experiment evaluated temporal discounting of calories burned during an exercise when under the control of a busy day. The median percentage of responses choosing the larger later reward at each of 5 indifference points was calculated. The median percentage with a 10-minute delay was 100%. The median percentage with a 12-minute delay was 93.3%. The median for a 20-minute delay was 86.7%. The median for a 50-minute delay was 20%. Lastly, the median for a 110-minute delay was only 6.7%. Here are some limitations to this current study. Only 15 college students between the ages of 19 to 22 were used. This could possibly limit the generalizability to the rest of this college-age population. A second limitation was the definition of a busy day. Future studies may define a busy day so that scenarios are identical across all participants. Areas of future research could include comparing the results of this study to that with a larger sample size of undergraduate students. It would also be interesting to conduct this study with both younger and older adults to see what impact the variable of age has on discounting. Another area that could be researched would be discounting of calories within food consumption in the undergraduate population. We hope that you've enjoyed this presentation. Thank you.